top button and the bottom button give you cell millivolts. So generally speaking on these cells, when they get to about 7 millivolts are on the way out. There's other cell management stuff within the unit that I'll show you later on as we get on with the weeks, alright? There, you want to watch this? Right.
How long does it stay on when you push it?
About a minute, something like that. The display's backlit as well. So if you want to, you can obviously do an air calibration, but these little pots, all you need to do is get a big fat screwdriver or a coin or something like that, and you can adjust them. I move that one and that one went up and down. The way they work, you don't have to take this right off. They're obviously quite tight, they're a friction seal on there. Inside this cap is a little variable potentiometer. The cap has an O-ring on its inner face that grips it. So if you put new cells in, what you would do, or if you can't quite get the adjustment you want, wind this right in, I was again not tightening the thread, and then back it off, and it'll always be able to give you the adjustment you want. But if you run out coming this way, that's the time to do it. Wind it back in and start again, because the O-ring grips the shaft, it goes up and down the shaft. Okay. And the gas addition blocks. So if all else goes horribly wrong with the main electronics, you fly on this. Alright? You can ignore everything else. And what you're going to be doing for this dive is just that. You're going to be ignoring everything else. That's the main point. So, therefore you can calibrate the unit two ways. You can ignore all the electronics if you want to. And with a breathing loop like this, it's best to flush it about 3 to 4 times. So that means sucking all the gas out of it, filling it full of oxygen until you feel the pressure in your cheeks just coming up. Suck it out again. Repeat that process to the last one. Get a good canister full of oxygen. Take the mouthpiece out and close it. So as you take it out, it vents to atmospheric pressure, and then you close it. Okay, everybody understand that? Having done that, you can set this display up. So you hold the top button, that'll give you PO2, and then you just adjust in the back like we said. Prior to doing all that, when the unit's just in air, it's worthwhile looking at the bottom button as well. And obviously that should read somewhere between 7 and 12 millivolts in air, depending on the health of the cells. Some of the newer Teledyne cells are coming out at a lower millivolt. They're coming out at 8s and 9s out of the factory. The old ones used to come out at 12s and 13s. On a normal dive day, and we haven't really done this now, but on a normal dive day you would then start your pre-breathe sequence. So it's one button to turn it on, then 2 buttons. Now unless you've told it otherwise, the unit will assume that oxygen is the calibration gas. If you want to make something else the calibration gas, you go into the gas menus and your normal VR3 screens and you make air or nitrox 50 or whatever. You shouldn't ever need to do that. You shouldn't want to do that. So one of the things we're going to do here before we get in the water is you will get into your rig, get everything ready and just sit there and completely go through this pre-dive test. So the first thing is it's giving you an idea of complete dive hours and total on hours, and it's reminding you about factory servicing, so you're okay with that. Check the mushroom valves. Now this is a test obviously. Ideally, before I even put the rig together, I'll have a quick inspection, a visual inspection of the valves. If you just put the rig in and breathe, you can hear them flap. They're quite rigid valves and you can actually hear them. But it's a good idea before you even get to this stage to actually visibly look at them. It takes 2 seconds to take an end off, you know. Do is a negative test. So at this point what you do is you make sure all the gas is off, you completely evacuate the loop and then walk away for 5 minutes. Okay. Now the negative test on this also tests the exhale counter lung dump valve. So if you walk away and then you come back and you get a good whooshing noise out of the mouthpiece, then you're okay. Right, that's the best way to do the test on this. You will see the hoses concertina a little bit, but they might just give, you know, within a couple of minutes they'll move back possibly. So the next one you do is you turn on the oxygen. Now at this point you've already evacuated the loop once, so that's good. The next thing to check is the oxygen shuttle. So you'll reach back here and you'll make sure that this valve is in the dive position, which means it's outboard. Okay, dive is out, shut off is in. Also on this screen, you've got a bar indicator of oxygen and diluent. Obviously at this stage, that one's just been turned on, so I've got 161 bar of oxygen. I won't do it now because it's not in my pre-breathe yet, but it would give me my diluent pressure as well, and it gives me the PO2 in the loop. Check manually add O2. Just reach around, do the manual addition of oxygen. And you should, it's a little hard with the engines going, but you should be able to hear that adding gas. If you do it long enough, you'll see a bar drop away on the pressure gauge as well, so you've got a choice of either way to do it. They'll say, this will now assume that you haven't calibrated the unit. Now obviously, if you have calibrated it, you can jump through this flush 3 times thing. I use this, normally on a week's diving like this, I'll give it a really good calibrate on the first day, then I don't bother for the rest of the week. But every day I will do a 3-way flush just to confirm I'm still at 1 bar inside the rebreather. I'm still at 1 bar PO2. So the sounds are pretty good. We'll see the issues with moisture this week and all that sort of thing. So what I again suggest you guys do is do a really good cow now that you're completely happy with. Even if it takes you 4 or 5 flushes, make sure you're dead right. And we'll just leave it and see what it's like. You know? So every day.
Back up alone. If you do an O2 flush, don't just back up. Just leave it.
No. So I should see the diluent pressure come up, which it does. Then I've got manual add diluent. So again, that's it. You can hear it. That one's going to bend as well. Now at that point, you can see my PO2 is also dropping. Now I go on the loop and check the ADV. So if this shut-off valve here is in the wrong position, the ADV won't trigger. So I go on, I start to breathe, I suck the loop right down, and the ADV should trigger in. And the next logical thing is it's saying flush with diluent, which basically you've just done that because you sucked in through the ADV. And having done that, you check that the PO2 has now dropped from what was pure oxygen to what is the diluent. So that's a confirmation that, yeah, I haven't got a bloody oxygen bottle in that side, I've actually got what I think I've got in that side. Obviously
that
you
might
should...
take a while though, might it?
Oh, it's just dropped now. It's just gone down from 1 bar.
I meant to metabolise what?
But you confirmed it again. Obviously you would have analysed your diluent before you put it on anyway, but just in case things got mixed up, you know, it does happen. And then the last one, which we've seen a couple of times, your whole rebreather can be working, but you've got a hole in the mouthpiece. You know, seriously. And the whole loop is compromised because the bloody rubber mouthpiece is no good. And the best way to check the rubber mouthpiece is put your finger over the exhaust and blow into it. Does it normally work?
Oh yeah.
Okay? So now you check the mouthpiece. There's a little temperature sensor inside the center section, okay? And it monitors internal temperature in the center section. As the absorbent starts to work, you should start to see a rise in temperature, but that will be a little bit dependent on the external temperature, whether you've left the unit out in the sun, all these type of things.
Where's the actual sensor then?
It's embedded into the center section. I'll show you. Just take the rigs apart. So it's not a finite indicator, but it should give you a clue that yes, I have actually packed absorbent in my rig breather, and a couple of people have not done that and had problems as well. Over time. This information, but for now we've just got it on there as a stack temperature sensor basically. So within this, you're going to do a 5-minute pre-breathe. In the top left-hand corner was a countdown timer. So you basically sit there for 5 minutes. If you don't fall over in 5 minutes, it's a good chance you've actually got absorbent. Duration time.